And we're back here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. This is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source talking to you right here. If you get a chance, check us out again, popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. But I know you love us on the ESO network, the Tangent Bound network, the Gunna Geek network, and of course our first home, the Podcast Radio Network. And we truly appreciate you listening to us there. But I know I get asked all the time, Gerald, if in case I miss a show, I just would like to know where I can download the episodes. Well, I'll tell you what, if you go to the Pop Culture Cosmos channels on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and podcast.com, they download straight right into you, whatever device that you're going to go ahead and subscribe on, because they go right there every Monday. And I'll tell you what, we just so appreciate you doing that or listening to us at all in any audio format. It's just greatly appreciated. Well, it's that time of the year. It's last minute holiday shopping season. And you know what? I am guilty of it. Very, very much guilty that, I'm one of those last minute shoppers, which I know a lot of people out there are as well. But we have some great ideas here today for those last minute holiday shopping gifts. And who better to talk with me about that than our man our man in the know regarding board gaming. It's Salvador Villa from Mario Party Wars. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Gerald. How are you?
Good, good. As I always say every week, part of the crazy kids over at Mario Party Wars, wreaking havoc upon the University of Nevada at Las Vegas, as only you guys can and gals can do. So, just great having you on. And I want to talk about board games, because board games are not only something that everybody is now really getting back into, classic and also new updated games alike, but also as well, they are just something that's affordable, that's easy to pick up, and available at major retailers everywhere, whether it's online or off. I was checking out, already, of course, you go and investigate as far as what the prices are, what the availability are, and what the hot sellers are. And yes, while there is still the monopolies, the Saris, the Twisters, and Operations of the world
Mm-hmm.
still available, still doing gangbusters as far as it's concerned, and still very much a great value, there's also a lot of great games that are available as well. Off the top of my list, Ticket to Ride, the Oregon Trail, Gamophones, and Codenames seem to be really hot sellers at Target and Amazon. I know this one's a good one. Exploding Kittens,
Oh
Anti-Monopoly,
yes.
yes, Anti-Monopoly, and of course something that you're familiar with as well, Cards Against Humanity. They're also hot sellers. They're all under $40. Most of them are
Mm-hmm.
under $20. So it's a great gift to get and also a great value. But you had some thoughts as well on it, and I would love to hear as far as what games are out there that are hot that are really really good gifts to get this holiday season.
Well, you hit one of the nails on the spot for one of them. Codenames, which I played one time. I know I did enjoy it. It's one of those like, oh god, how to describe that kind of game? It's like trying to figure, like as a team, trying to figure words out, but only one person can describe it, and you only are allowed a word and a number to like describe it, but you're trying to find as many words within per round against your team to find it as quickly as you can. So it's a really interesting variation of like almost like Guess Who with like a bunch of other different types of elements to it. But it's definitely the biggest one probably out. Like every website that I've been to has almost recommended that like instantly. Uh, and it won Game of the Year for this year, so that was also pretty cool. Exploding Kittens would definitely be another one. It's a really easy game to pick up on, and I mean, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for the kids per se, because it has some imagery that probably would not be good for them unless you don't mind the exposure to them for that. But
But
it's really,
these are also some of these games are choices for people out there who just like to really have a friends over for party for
oh,
adults,
of
correct?
course, oh yeah, definitely. It's so easy to pick up on, and yeah, like It's just a game where you try to live longer than your opponents by making sure your kitten doesn't explode, because each one of you has a bomb that's going to go off if you don't get rid of it. So you try to play cards that like affect your ability to draw, or like affect other people's like capabilities to draw or to not draw or whatever. There's so many ways to like play in that game. There's so many like modifications you can do with it, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a good game for like icebreakers and everything. Definitely worth recommending. It's only like $20 on average, so it's a really affordable game to get.
Yes, and while Jenga is still available under $10, and Connect Four and all those other great games, Battleship, are out there that are standards, which you see everywhere from Walmart, Target, Amazon, whatnot. There are still a lot of great choices out there that maybe are a little bit off the beaten path. And I know you have some more choices as well. So, what are some of the titles that you're thinking of as great gifts this holiday season?
Well, one game I've been looking my eye on is called Snake Oil. Um, if you've ever played like charades or anything like that, it's a similar game, but it adds like a new concept where you're given like a role. You're basically a seller trying to upsell a product or service to someone else, but you're given a specific role that you have to act out and try to act out that character and upsell it to your opponent. So if you get, a vampire and you have to upsell, I don't know, maybe a hospital, you would have to act out as a vampire some way to get them to convince to buy the hospital. And there's so many different positions you'll be getting. You could be a vampire, a businessman, a bartender. There's like so many different variations for it. And so it's like a really simple game, but also provides like a really cool creative twist to it where you have to improv pretty much to. So, and I really like that. Those are the kind of games I would definitely recommend getting. Another one that I've personally played, although, okay, this one's a little more pricier, but it's worth it if you can just get the money for it. Like, especially for anyone who loves like kind of like stack building games. It's called Junk Art. So I think this one came out this year, if I remember correctly. And it's a game where everyone's given a set of pieces, all color coded based on whatever color you represent, and you try to stack the pieces in a way on this little tile that everyone's given. You try to stack it as high as you can. The twist to it though is based on the mode, and there's different modes you can play. You're supposed to stack pieces that either your opponents are giving you, or you're trying to stack it the fastest. And every single piece is like different. Like there's one that it's kind of like a long piece, and there's others that are more flat. There's some that are tiny. There's some that have holes on it. And you basically got to figure out a way to like stack all of these as high as you can without making it fall. And nothing can fall off. Like nothing can actually like come off. Otherwise, you're gonna either get deducted points or you're gonna lose in the end for the round. But it's a really cool game with like the intensity there because you're playing simultaneously against everyone else, and you want to make sure your art stands the longest compared to everyone else.
So, no, those are some great choices indeed. So, I know the biggest thing that's out right now is obviously Rogue One. It's hit theaters. It's done amazing
Mm-hmm.
business out there, and everybody's now at this time of year going Star Wars crazy again. There's some great choices out there as far as Star Wars because they put their brand on so many different board games that are out there, like Star Wars Monopoly, Star Wars as far as it's concerned, um, Star Wars. Going through the list right now: Star Wars Pictopia, Star Wars as far as Trouble, Star Wars Clue, Star Wars Battleship, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also some great original games with the Star Wars license. Star Wars Rebellion, Star Wars
That one's been a big one for this year.
exactly, Star Wars Imperial Assault, Star Wars the Black, as far as the Star Wars Armada, but also one that may be under the radar. That's a very, very reasonable game to get under $20, and that's Star Wars Empire versus Rebellion, as far as a two-player card game is concerned. So tell me real quick, because maybe people can get a better idea, because it is such a great value at under $20. When you're playing a two-player card game, how does that interaction really go well, as opposed to maybe playing in more of a larger group setting?
Well, you get a lot more interaction between the other individual, and you also get to maybe find out a little bit more for yourself because usually two-player card games tend to be more tactical, more strategic. Because usually they're involved as like trading card games, but not always. But regardless, most of the time, two-player card games are meant to be more analytical. So you both get to play a game, figure out the rule sets and everything, and try to outwit your opponent using your own unique set of strategies. And this can tell you a lot about another person on a more personal level because you find out, a little bit more about them in that kind of way. And so it provides a bit more of a deeper connection type of feeling on those kind of levels while playing a game you would honestly enjoy.
Well, that's great to hear. Indeed. And I know, like I said, it's under $20 for that particular game.
Mm-hmm.
The other Star Wars original games are a little bit pricier, but for that great fan out there, if that's what you're looking for a Star Wars fan, those are great things to get indeed. But any other suggestions as far as it's concerned? Because you, like I said, you know board games pretty much better than anyone I know. So, with that being said, are there any other last minute board gaming ideas that people can think of as far as it's concerned before we go ahead and uh, let them give them information on exactly where they can go ahead and get those board gaming gifts?
Sure, and I appreciate that. I try my best to keep up to date with like all things board gaming and tabletop games just because I'm really into them just like I am with video games. But one other recommendation is for those of you who love Werewolf, like are a fan of Werewolf or Mafia, though those kind of more like giant party social interactive games. There was one I just recently found out about called Secret Hitler, where you basically are like a German council who are gonna start coming up with different plans, but it's divided between two factions back during those times. One is the German Liberals Party, and then the other one are more of the fascist parties. One of them specifically being Hitler himself. So if for anyone who's played Werewolf or Mafia, you know the similar process of going turns, eliminating people. Though on this one, you're creating laws. But if you're a German liberal, you want to create liberal laws. Where if you're a fascist, you want to create fascist laws. And so the point of the game is to try to get your team to get as many laws appointed first, or at least for the fascists, also having Hitler, you want him being appointed as chancellor because there's also two leading positions, the president and chancellor position in the game. And so you want him to get up to chancellor, which obviously is the highest position in the German government. So it provides a unique twist of like a werewolf environment, but instead going back to like the old times where politics and just stuff leading to World War II and stuff about Hitler, comes into play. And it's a really unique way of like putting politics and a very, very powerful figure from historical times into play as well. It
And
sounds like a really interesting game.
it does, but it does also touch on some very controversial
Oh,
topics
of
as far as
course.
on that end. So how's that game as far as transferred over? Has a game really gotten a lot of flack back because obviously of the nature and what it touches on?
Not to my knowledge, based on what I've looked up. I mean, it definitely wouldn't be a game like to play with like your kids or anything. But overall, like I haven't seen anything negative about it. But I mean, if you're sensitive to material like that, where obviously during conversations like that, exaggerations can come up and maybe get a little bit more serious than it needs to be. I would say probably just not to go for it unless you really want to give it a try regardless, and then just see how it feels like to you. But overall, I think this would be meant more for like you and your friends, especially for those with going up to college years, and just those that like to be very creative with like interesting situations.
Understandable indeed. So there's any last minute things as well that they can get as far as accessories for the games, as far as additional card sets. Is there anything as well? Because those obviously can be a bargain as well if they already know that the person they're buying the gift for already has the main game indeed.
Actually, well, I saw this on IGN. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like a set, like a set of accessories you can actually buy that are meant for like, you know, card sleeves, or like if you don't want to roll a dice on a table, and they'll actually have like a customized box where you could actually dump dice in to roll in. Um, I can't remember what it was called. It was on IGN for like some of the best board game things you could find for the holidays. But there's that. There was that. And besides that, I guess a personal recommendation for me would always be, I have it right here, King of Tokyo. No, I hope that's not backwards.
No, it's coming out fine.
Okay, yeah. So King of Tokyo by Yellow Games. This is one of those games where it's basically, you know, Godzilla versus everyone else as well. But you customize your own monster to gain abilities and play against other players, and it's a very simple game to learn because it's based on your dice rolls that determine like what you're gonna do with your strategies every turn. So it's one of those games that's very easy to pick up on and can be very competitive. And it's a great game to play with the family, with your friends. It's pretty much caters to everyone of all ages.
Sounds
So
good
yeah,
indeed.
King of
No,
Tokyo.
that's a great suggestion, especially for those fans of Godzilla out there and Rodan and Mothra, and basically all those great Japanese films out there. And you know they try to resurrect. Well, King Kong's coming out next year, so
Mm-hmm.
they always try to resurrect in Hollywood a large beast crashing through a city every now and then. So it's always good to play from that end. And if you want to play, it's just, you know, like through the video game rampage on it, go right ahead as well. But if you remember that one, like I do. But King of Tokyo indeed is one of the great suggestions that you have. We truly appreciate your thoughts on it. If you get a chance, everyone out there, just go to Target, Walmart, Amazon out there as far as, and go to the board game section to see that there's a lot of games that are under $40, under $30, under $20 that are great values, very
Mm-hmm.
popular games indeed. Where else can they go as far as is concerned?
Well, considering tabletop gaming has really started, it's expanded so much now. I can almost guarantee anyone that you're gonna find a tabletop store somewhere in your area. So more, I mean, more likely, obviously, if you're in like a bigger cities, but definitely if you check out your local tabletop stores, very easy to find. Like most of the games you'll find there, and even some new ones you probably have never heard of. You could also check out usually comic shops. A lot of them now also carry tabletop games of their own. Usually those that are a lot more popular, that are just that often come up on things like Geek and Sundry, and things of that nature. But your local comic shops will also guarantee you that. And besides that, maybe even like you might occasionally find stuff like GameStop or like more untraditional places that also cater to like other pop culture related stuff. They'll also have tabletop games. Hot Topic should have a few things as well. So you could even find more untraditional like pop culture related stores that will also carry things like that. But your biggest bet is definitely the comic shops, your local tabletop stores, and of course popular retail stores like Amazon and Target.
Definitely, indeed, because I know Target specifically carries not only the basic set of games that Walmart and other major retailers do, but Target actually has a devoted section in their stores to the card games and board games of recent times that have been introduced that are also very
Mm-hmm.
popular as well. So that
Yeah,
is
I don't know if they still do it, but a few years ago, I know they used to have like Geek and Sundry recommended games back when tabletop first came out. They're really big board game series starring Will Wheaton, and they pretty much said like it had like Geek and Sundry approved on the actual game. So it's like I don't know if they still do that, but Target definitely has a big recognition for tabletop
Yeah,
games.
they're heavy into it indeed. I know they were really when I went into one of their stores the other day, they were really promoting Ticket to Ride and the Oregon Trail as two of their really big stars in the section, and also Cards Against Humanity as well. So I know something that definitely they're looking to push this holiday season. But those are great suggestions indeed. You know, I can't let you go without actually asking one more time about you crazy kids and what you do at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Because if anybody out there wants to know, find out more about the wonders of Mario Party Wars and all the great things you guys and gals actually do down there for Mario Party Wars and whatnot. How can they get a hold of you? What do they need to know about Mario Party Wars? And why is Mario Party Wars so awesome?
Nice. So, yeah, thanks, Gerald. So, Mario Party Wars is an organization I started that revolves around obviously Mario Party. We host a one of a kind tournament that spans a total of the whole 12 months, so a whole year, with semis and finals during the summer. And basically, you play against other players through Mario Party games. We sometimes throw in a little interesting variations there to like make things interesting. Besides that, you could win cash prizes for making it up to the semis and the finals, just like any other type of esports tournament. And basically, what we're trying to do is show that even more casual based games can provide even a competitive feel and even maybe become something like esports related type things in the future, kind of like what Amazon did with mobile games just a few weeks ago. But besides that, we're also a gaming community, so we love to promote anything that's about video games, anything that's pop culture now, anything nerdy or geeky. So we always love to host events, game nights, movie nights, traveling to like conventions, just having fun, things like that. And we try to build up a community of just all things of what people love to do as nerds and geeks specifically.
So where can they find you guys at? And also as well, where can they find where you guys and gals are doing streams and things of that nature as well?
So yeah, so if you want to keep up with us, you can, or even contact us. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. Those are our three big social media platforms. And then if you want to check out a lot more of like our streaming stuff, because currently for Wednesdays and Thursdays, my vice president actually hosts um, specific type of like Nintendo related games on Wednesdays, and then first person shooters games on Thursday. And you can find us on Twitch and on YouTube for those.
That's awesome to hear because I know you, Larna, Yelthin, Christian, and the entire crew of Mario Party Wars create a lot of havoc indeed. It's a lot of fun watching what you guys and gals do because it's
Thanks.
truly great as far as what I see that's going on there, and most of all, that you have a great time in doing it. Just as far as anybody that wants to follow what they're doing, it's awesome indeed. It's Mario Party Wars on Facebook, Mario Party Wars on Twitter, and also as well catch them on Twitch and YouTube indeed for those streams. Sal, it's been a great pleasure having you on today, telling us those last minute shopping gifts that may be some great ideas indeed as far as in the area of board gaming. Trust me, folks, if you go and grab a great party game for you and your friends, or if you go even just your basic board games for the kids, it's a great idea. It's a very value oriented gift indeed, and it's definitely a great way to spend the holiday season. Sal, thanks again for coming on. Truly appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure, Gerald. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you indeed. And again, we appreciate you watching and listening. And this is again the Pop Culture Cosmos.